My cousin texts me during the Argentina game, not about the goal. This team just got eliminated and made more than you'll make this decade. I check the group chat instead of the replay. $9 million for losing every single match they played. Not the champions, not the final. A team that went 0-3. I've watched soccer since before I could spell offside. I still thought losing meant leaving with nothing but jet lag and a bad group stage meme. So here's what's actually happening with World Cup prize money. People assume you only get paid if you win games. Wrong. FIFA pays every single one of the 48 teams before a ball is even kicked. $10 million for qualifying, $2.5 million for showing up prepared. That's $12.5 million, guaranteed, before a single whistle blows. Lose all 3 group games and you still collect $9 million more in performance money. Add it up and a winless team still clears roughly $21.5 million. For 16 of the 48 teams, that's the biggest single check their federation has ever received. Somewhere a federation president is framing that number and hanging it in an office. Fans of the big federations don't think about any of this. They're arguing about lineups. Meanwhile, a debutant nation is arguing about currency conversion. Both conversations are happening in the same tournament, at the exact same time. One side is mad about a substitution. The other side just funded a training facility. A federation making its World Cup debut this cycle went home in the group stage. That single group stage exit still outpaced any grant that federation had ever received before. Neither side is wrong. They're just playing completely different games with the same trophy. One trophy. 48 federations. 48 completely different definitions of a good tournament. People also assume the total prize pool is some modest sponsorship pot, like a raffle at a youth tournament. Also wrong. $871 million. That's the whole pool this year. 65% higher than what got handed out at Qatar 2022. FIFA blames higher commercial revenue and 16 extra teams for the jump. More teams means more group stage checks getting written, which is most of that jump. I blame nothing. I just enjoy watching a number get bigger every 4 years. And the payout climbs every single round like a very expensive staircase. Group stage exit, $9 million. Round of 32 exit. A stage that didn't even exist before this tournament. $11 million. Round of 16, $15 million. Quarterfinal exit, $19 million. Lose in the semifinal. You're still walking away with $27 million. Third place, $29 million. Runner-up, $33 million. Champion, $50 million, on top of the money they already banked just for qualifying. Every step up that staircase is worth more than most people's entire mortgage. People also assume this money comes out of FIFA's own pocket, like a charity check. It is not. It's revenue FIFA already collected from broadcasters, sponsors, and ticket sales, redistributed back out. The teams aren't being given a gift. They're getting a cut of a business they generated, which makes the group stage exit fee less consolation prize and more contractual cut. Now here's the part that sounds like a technicality but isn't. People assume that money lands directly in the players' bank accounts. It does not. FIFA pays the federation, not the player. Every federation then decides its own cut for the squad, with zero standard rule across all 48. Typically 20 to 30% goes to the players and staff who actually did the work. The rest funds, youth academies, staff salaries, stadium upkeep, whatever the federation decides it wants. Somewhere out there, an assistant kit manager is thrilled about performance-based distribution. So is the guy who resurfaces the training pitch once every 4 years, right before the cameras show up. So is whoever finally gets a new team bus that doesn't smell like the 2018 cycle. None of them will ever be mentioned in a highlight reel, and all of them got paid by this tournament. Let me translate FIFA's actual language for a second, in the spirit of an interpreter handling something deeply serious. Performance-based distribution means the more you win, the more we hand you, obviously. It took a legal department to make that sentence 4 words longer than it needed to be. Picture the group chat again, because it did not stop. My cousin, who thinks stoppage time is a conspiracy. So losing is basically a paid vacation? Kind of? Nobody's federation is texting them, "Good news, you're eliminated, congratulations." But the invoice still clears the same week the flight home lands. Then the champion's $50 million is before we even mention what sponsors add on top for winning. Argentina took home $42 million in 2022. This year's champion clears that by $8 million more, just from FIFA. $8 million is the entire $9 million group stage payout, almost twice over, just as a bonus increase. I've supported the same club since before I owned a passport. I've also personally lost more money on a parlay than some federations spend on kits for an entire cycle. So no, I don't feel bad for the group stage teams. I feel bad for whoever has to explain preparation costs to their finance minister on Monday morning.